And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the wrap-up part of the Indianapolis race weekend. We're wrapping up the IRP weekend before we head across town to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow. It's time for the Kroger 200, race number 9 of the NR2003 Diva Busch Series. Getting ready for 50 laps of racing here tonight under the lights at IRP. Our truck race last night was fun and exciting and had 3 cautions. What kind of race will we see here tonight in the Diva Busch Series? By the way, this is the first attempt for the Diva Busch Series as far as recording is concerned because it took me 6 or 7 tries to record the truck race, which finally got uploaded last night. So hooray for me. Trixie Tang starts on the pole position for this evening's race. She comes to this race only 32nd in the point standings. It is her second pole. Mackenzie Servino is alongside. She is 24th in the point standings. Alexandre Sarnes, who had a very good result in last night's Truck Series race, 11th in the point standings. And alongside of her is Aaron Walsh, who had the unfortunate part of the DNF last night in the Truck Series. She comes this race 22nd in the standings. Balam Kim is still your points leader by 14 points over Darlene Ward. Leela Bakai is third in the standings, 20 points back. 25 back is Angela Thornburg, who is fourth. Natalie Fisher dropped all the way down to fifth in the standings. The rest of your top 10 is Calipin Bergia, who is 40 points back in sixth. April Winters dropped 2 spots down to seventh in the standings. 74 back is Caitlin Roy, who dropped a spot after the Michigan race last week. Ninth is Annie James, who dropped 3 spots in the standings, and Isabel Gordon, who gained 9 spots up to 10th in the standings. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, it's time to get these cars rolling off behind the pace car. And that's going to be a restart because the 18 had something go wrong. So we're going to go ahead and restart, make sure everyone rolls off so nobody has any mechanical problems. Just to make sure it's fair for me and fair for you all. So there you go. All right, let's try that again. There we go. Last night's Truck Series race, we had track position play a major factor. What will this evening's race for the Diva Busch Series be? As I was actually trying to turn down NR2003, so pace car is off, getting ready for this evening's 50 lapper, the Kroger 200, the wrap-up part of our IRP fun before we head across town to Indianapolis tomorrow afternoon for the Diva Cup Series. But let's go short track racing one more time. And the Kroger 200 for the Diva Busch Series is underway. Let's go racing, gals. Let's see how many cautions we're going to have in this race because I can tell you we're going to probably have either 3 or 4 from what we saw in our truck series last night. Trixie Tang currently the leader. Of course, Alexandre Sarnes ran in the truck race last night. And Etoile also ran the truck race last night as they're nearly 4 wide back here with Aaron Walsh not points leader, excuse me, third in points lead of Bakai. That's what I was going to get ready to say. Trixie Tang in the United States Marines Ford for Renzi Motorsports. Needs a solid day to turn what has been a slow start to the year around for this 25 bunch. If you didn't tune into our truck race last night, I talked about this is our first race weekend. I'm in my new room, which is the Wi-Fi area. So hooray. And the caution is out. So like our truck series, we already have 1. We had 3 in our truck race last night. Trixie Tang will lead us to the yellow, and Sydney Ball's on top of the wall. Natalie Fisher, 5th in points, is involved. Oh, boy. Sydney Ball, 41st in the point standings. Isabel Gordon's involved. That's not good for Isabel. Isabel Gordon came as race 10th in points. Boy, that's a couple of drivers running well in points right there. Caution's out for the first time here tonight. Let's jump back and look at a replay to find out what happened, as we have a couple of drivers maybe out of the race here early going of the Kroger 200. Well, I can tell you there's a lot of tempers flaring, and I can tell you the 37's not going to be happy with the 19. See, there were 3 wide with Sydney Ball. The 19 just moved over into the 37, so I really don't know what this was all about. And the 1937, they're going to go up the racetrack, and unfortunately, Sydney had nowhere to go, so I can't put any fault on Sydney Ball as far as this is concerned. Oh, Eva Motz has got some rear end damage on her Kleenex machine. The 79 is going to go upside down and on top of the Wolf Pontiac for Bruco, and right up near the catch fence, gives the spectators a bit of a scare. And of course, 79 got stuck up on the wall. That's a tough break. But how did Isabel Gordon get a piece of it? Let's see. Let's looky here from the 71's perspective. How did she get a piece of it? Let's go on board with her in slow motion. Darby King got a piece of it, by the way, in the 46. Right there, got the side of the 37. That's where the 71 got her damage. I talked about Sydney Ball came in this race 41st in the points. This was not the run she was hoping for. Natalie Fisher, on the other hand, came in this race 5th in points. That's a driver who came in this race running well in points. Isabel Gordon was 10th in points, who got a piece of it. And Darby King, who comes into this race 34th in the points. Boy, did she did not need this. So a couple of drivers really did not need some bad results. And a couple of drivers who were running well in points going to take some hits. And I can tell you the 37 is going to be very angry at the 19 as the caution's out for the first time tonight here at IRP. Let's jump to the restart here at Indianapolis. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 10 of 50. Should give us a total of 41 laps to go. Trixie Tang is your race leader. Alexandria Sarnese is second. Ada Chua in third. Lila Bakai fourth. Charlotte Lopez fifth. Azara Mirwais is sixth. Seventh is Aaron Walsh. Megan Knight eighth. Mackenzie Servino ninth. And Joanna Berg completes your top 10. Isabel Gordon ended up losing a lap while making repairs, and 2 drivers out of the race. They're Sydney Ball and Natalie Fisher. I can tell you Sydney Ball is going to be very upset with the 19 and the 37. And the 19 and 37 are going to be off to the Diva Busch Series trailer when the race is over. And I hate that for Sydney Ball, who was minding her business and got taken out, which Sydney Ball is going to be dead last in points leaving tonight's races. We're back to green here at IRP. Ooh, Trixie Tang got up in the wall. That's going to allow the 18 to take the race lead. 25 was trying to get around the 71, but got up too high, carried a little too much speed, and got up in the wall. Now Alexandria Sarnese is going to take the lead. Alexandria had a great run in our truck race last night. Let's see how she does here in the Diva Busch race. Of course, she has an extra 50 laps, same with Ada Chua, the Singapore driver. Ada Chua comes into this race 38th in the point standings, former winner this season. Hasn't had the greatest of seasons, even though we're on race 9 of the season. And Sarnese comes in this race 11th in points, and of course with Isabel Gordon, who came in this race running well in points, already a lap down, and of course another driver who was running well in points, which was Natalie Fisher, out of the race. This could put Alexandria inside the top 10. I see Lila Bakai still in third. Of course, Ada Chua is going to go by the 18 for the race lead. Let's find out where Darlene Ward is. That's the gal who comes this race. Actually, let's find out where our points leader is. 29th, Darlene Ward in the 73 is running in 23rd. That's, by the way, your top two in the points. Lilo Akai, who comes in this race third in the points, is ahead of both of them. 39 cars on the lead lap. Shanti Darwish, the last car on the lead lap. 40 of them are still in the race. I think that flip that the 79 had was probably too much. And of course, rescuers had to get Sydney's car off the top of the wall and gently put it down. So that way Sydney can get out of the car because she was scared for her life. But thank goodness it was a short track. But Sydney is okay. She's been released from the medical center, although she's not too happy with the 37, which do I really blame Sydney Ball for being upset? Absolutely, because you just got taken out through no fault of your own. You were just minding your business, and two drivers just took you out just like that. Hopefully, Sydney Ball will look to bounce back heading into next week's race at Dover. And of course, we still got to finish up our Indy weekend. Of course, the Diva Cup Series drivers are across town, as I said, from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They've recently, just before Diva Busch and Truck Series race weekend, they had practice yesterday before the Diva Truck Series. They just had qualifying as Alexandria Sarnes is in the wall there. They just had qualifying this morning and happy hour, and they're in the grandstand watching the Diva Busch race before they get ready for tomorrow's Brickyard 400 to cap off our Indy weekend. There's Megan Knight in the 99, the Aaron Stream machine. If you're hearing Discord in the background, I do apologize about that. Megan Knight comes this race 35th in the point standings. It's been a very rocky season for her. She's looking to bounce back, and so far she's doing that. Azara Mirmo is running in fourth. Zara Mirmoez comes in this race 37th in points, so this is a well-needed run for the Express Employment Professionals Dodge, and Leela Vakai has dropped back to fifth. Remember, she comes in this race third in the point standings. Chow Dang, who ran the truck race last night, running in sixth, about to take that spot from Trixie Tang, who's going to lose a spot to Aaron Walsh in the one. That is, by the way, a battle for seventh. Dang comes in this race 14th in the points, so she's had a bit of a snag so far after a poor result last week. Remember last week we went caution free through the Michigan weekend. All series, with the exception of the truck series, that was the only two cautions we had from that whole race weekend from Michigan was from the Diva Truck Series. Diva Busch and Cup went caution free in those two races. After that, Caitlin Roy running in 11th, April Winters in 12th. Alex had a terrible race last night in the Diva Truck Series. Back up front with Ada Chwas. We're about to pass the halfway mark here in the Kroger 200, and I see some smoke on the front straightaway. And I don't know who it's from. It must have been from the Becky Sampson machine. If we do get a caution, we will check back. We'll look back at a replay, see what exactly happened that caused some skid marks on the front straightaway that didn't bring out the caution. Balam Kim's all the way back here. Last time by scored in the 35th position. Remember, she came in this race as your points leader. And let's see, where is second in points? Darlene Ward. There's Darlene. She's running in 21st. Came in this race second in points. And looks like whoever spun out continued on, but it didn't bring out a caution. So, I'm thinking, why don't we, while Ada Chua is leading this race, let's jump back, look at a replay to find out who spun out. And then we're going to come back to live action as Ada Chua is still leading here at IRP. Well, it looks like we found out who spun out coming off of turn 4, why the official didn't throw the yellow. It was Elizabeth Gardner, and she got hooked by the 0 of Hanako Watanabe, and that's what sent the Kingsford Johnsonville brought Chevrolet around. And because the 59 was out of harm's way, Diva Busch officials did not elect to throw a caution for this incident. So Elizabeth Gardner was running 19th at the time of the spin, so she is going to be dropping back through the running order, as that's what didn't bring out the caution. As we've investigated who spun out, let's go back to live action here at IRP. Welcome back to this Raceway Park here for the Gerger 200, as we've investigated who spun out. As Elizabeth Gardner is all the way back to 36 after that spin, and of course it didn't bring out the caution, but it really didn't matter because, well, she kept it going. Megan Knight has started reeling in the unsponsored Chevrolet of the 22 machine. As we're coming to the end of the IRP portion of the Indy weekend, as far as this race weekend is concerned. Definitely looking forward to tomorrow's Brickyard 400. 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Like I said, this track is across town from where we are at, which is IRP. And the caution's out for the second time tonight. Looks like we've had a massive wreck, and Elizabeth Gardner for the second time tonight is involved. As, whoa, Becky Sampson gets hit by Megan Knight. And this is what happens when we're racing back to the line, when we got drivers who are trying to cause an accident. Not sure what happened to the 59. I don't know if there's anybody else involved in this, but caution's out for the second time tonight. Let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened to bring out this second caution of the evening. Second time the 59 has spun out, but this time it brought out the caution, and this time, pay attention to the 19. Looks like the 4 Shanti Darwish thought she was clear, and then nowhere for the 59 to go. This time the 59 got damaged. Elena Lydia gets a piece of it. Has a little hood buckle on the Menard Chevrolet. Isabel Gordon got a piece of it again. Becky Sampson runs in the back of the Geico Chevrolet, which, in my opinion, aerodynamics don't mean much. Of course, that will come into play in tomorrow's Diva Cup Series race over at Crosstown at Indy at the Brickyard. So, boy, a tough night. It gotten worse for Elizabeth Gardner. Got spun out by Hanako Watanabe and gets involved in the second caution of the evening. As Ada Chua still leads this race, let's jump back to the restart here at IRP. 1 to go has just been given, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing on lap 38 of 50. 59 car of Elizabeth Gardner was recently put a lap down after, they have her scored second. I don't know why. That should be needing to be addressed. Looks like that's going to be either a time penalty coming to 59, because she was like 30 something when she took the line. She's like rescored in second. So looks like that's going to be a time penalty for the 59, because Megan Knight is supposed to be second. So remember, was having a good run in fourth, but that should change. Sarnes fifth, Chow Dang, Aaron Walsh, Trixie Tang, Prue Granger, and Olga Scott the top 10. And the 59, I believe, made up all those positions and never exceeded them. So that's going to be definitely a penalty for the 59 as we're back to green. Looks like Megan Knight's going to get her spot back. Isabel Gordon about to get by. So I don't know why the 59 decided to speed under yellow past so many cars and did not exceed those positions. So looks like that's going to be a possible time penalty coming Elizabeth Gardner's way. And it looks like I've just been confirmed. Yep, time penalty to car 59 for passing cars under the yellow flag and did not exceed those positions. So she'll more than likely be the last car on the lead lap. Unless she ends up dropping back to the last car on the lead lap, then there you go. Or if she gets turned around. Nobody out of the race, by the way, from that incident, that second caution. And Elizabeth Gardner's been called to the Diva Busch Series trailer for, well, exceeding all those spots and not giving them back. So it looks like it's going to be Olga Scott who's going to get 10th as a result. Probably put her the 39th is where I'm going to put the 59. If the 59 finishes in the top 10, everybody behind the 59, well, caution's out. Oh, big wreck. Well, speaking of the 59, just got collected in this wreck. Trixie Tang is in it. 19 got a piece of it. Now can we make sure not to run into each other? And that's probably not what Megan Knight wanted to see. Okay, Megan, slow down there, sweetheart. There's the pace car. Oh, Darlene Ward, second in points involved. Oh, boy. Caleb Ambrosia got a piece of it. A lot of damage to the Payday Chevrolet. I don't know if points leader Balam Kim got a piece of it. Claudia Flores got a piece of it. Shanti Darwish has got more damage to the Geico Chevy. Caution's out for the third time tonight, so we match our total from our truck race last night. Let's jump back and look at a replay to find out what on bloody earth just happened. Well, I don't know how I'm going to explain this right here. And, boy, apparently Elizabeth Gardner was upset with Trixie Tang for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what the deal was, but they took each other into the wall and took each other out. Oh, Alyssa Albon got a piece of it. That's a shame. There's where Darlene Ward gets involved. Shanti Darwish gets a piece of it. I'm sorry, that's totally uncalled for. 26 got a piece of it. Emma Kaiser looks like she got through it. Jayla Durazin got a small piece of it. There's Claudia Flores, but oh boy, the 59 who exceeded all those spots after the second caution caused this little incident. I don't think officials are going to be happy with the 59. I don't think Trixie Tang's going to be happy with the 59 because unfortunately for those two, they collected a number of drivers who really should not have been involved in. Boy, tempers are flaring. That's a shame for Trixie Tang, and that's also a shame for Darlene Ward. She was trying to run down Balam Kim for the points lead, and looks like her night's going to come to an end. Third caution of the night. Let's jump back to the restart here at IRP. Lights are off on the pace car. It's going to be a 3-lap dash to the end. The officials have penalized the 59 and sent her to the rear of the field, which makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, out of the race, Shanti Darwish, Alyssa Albon, Darlene Ward, second in points, out of this race, and they joined Sydney Ball and Natalie Fisher, who have been behind the wall for quite some time. Caleb Ambrosia and Isabel Gordon are, well, and as soon as I say that, Caleb Ambrosia has now taken her car behind the wall with a piston failure, but she will go to the care center since she was involved in a wreck. And the 25 has been ordered to meet with the Diva Busch Series officials after the race for what I basically want to know what that was all about between the 59 and the 25. And unfortunately, as I said, took out a lot of good gals that really didn't need to be involved, including second in points, Darlene Ward, who's going to be really ticked about it. Balam Kim is 31st, our points leader. So, oh boy, IRP tempers are flaring. I'm glad we're not doing this tomorrow for the Diva Cup Series. Rather, they'll be at IRP. So, or not at IRP. They'll be at the Brickyard. As we're now at 2 laps of racing to go. Next caution that comes out will either end this race, or if we get the white flag, we will race it back no matter what. Megan Knight, Azara Mirwez, white flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. I can tell you there's going to be a lot of fights after this race is over. I can guarantee you that. But Megan Knight, I don't think she's going to be fighting. Neither will Azara Mirwez. Because off of turn number 4, Megan Knight is going to win the Kroger 200 here tonight at IRP. And how interesting is this? Megan Knight, 35th in the points, wins the race. Azara Mirwez, 37th in points, finishes second. So 2 drivers who are struggling near the bottom of the points table. This is well-needed runs for these 2. 8 different winner in 9 races. Good job to them. Standings are, by the way, official. Chao Ding is going to get 3rd, so Chao Ding came as race 14th in the points. Good run from her. Ada Chua, well-needed run from her. 38th in the points. So like I said, top 3 of the 4 drivers who are struggling in the point standings gets top 5. Alexandria Sarnes gets 5th. Great run for Alexandria. Of course, she had a great run in last night's Truck Series race, so I can tell you team owner Frank's going to be delighted with her as far as that's concerned. Prue Granger got 6th. Didn't talk much about Prue, who came as race 12th in points, had a quiet run tonight. Caitlin Roy is going to get 7th. Great run for Kate. Caitlin Roy came into this race. If I can find her in the point standings. Caitlin Roy was 8th in the points, so she'll stay in the top 10 of the points. Olga Scott will get 9th. Good run for Olga. 15th in the points. She'll be probably inside the top 10 leaving tonight in 8th. Charlotte Lopez will get 9th. Good run for Charlotte Lopez, who comes into this race. If I can find her in the point standings, Charlotte Lopez, who gets 9th. And Joanna Berg will get 10th. Berg, 25th in the points, will move up through the standings. Olga Scott came as race 15th in the points, so she'll be inside the Charlotte Lopez is who I was finding. Oh, she was 13th point, so she'll also be inside the top 10. And Joanna Berg, as I said, came as race 25th in the points, will get 10th. Aaron Walsh got 11th, so nice run from Aaron Walsh. Angela Thornburg, 4th in points, 12th for her. Leela Bakai, 13th. I think, and of course, they were 5 points from each other. Well, let's see who's going to be the points leader, because the good news for those 2, the 2 ladies, they were trying to run down for the points lead, but Lam Kim finished in 28th as you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. 35 drivers finished on the lead lap. Elizabeth Gardner was the last on the lead lap. Even if she gets the time penalty, it doesn't make a difference. She only finished 35th, so it wouldn't make a difference if they give her that time penalty. So it's like, what difference does it make anyway? Isabel Gordon was the only driver that finished 1 lap down. And then 6 drivers did not see the checker flag. Caliphan Bergia, due to a piston failure after she was involved in the incident that also took out Shanti Darwish, Alyssa Albon, and Darlene Ward, who came as race 2nd in points. And they joined Sydney Ball, who's had a miserable season, and Natalie Fisher, who came as race 5th in points, out of the race. And I can tell you, Natalie Fisher, Darlene Ward, they're going to take some big hits in the standings. Shanti, so a couple of drivers that were running well in points are really going to take some hits. So IRP really played its part in shaking up the points